Hello and welcome to another episode of The Chaotic Mind. We are on episode 12 today. I am your host, Devontae Ewing, aka DJ Thunderbase, and I am joined today with my co-hosts.
Hello, guys, girls, and squirrel.
Hmm?
And Hermione here, also known as Mayhem the Hearts Mace. Hey, how you guys doing today?
And I am Dark Trooper coming from you live from a secret location, aka my couch.
And we got a good show off for you today. We're going to get things started here, though, with our weather forecast. All right, and
It's gonna rain.
It's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
rain.
We are expected to have rain all weekend.
Rainy,
All the way
rainy
up to
day.
tonight. We're expected rain here in the central area of Michigan. And we won't be seeing, looks like we're actually going to be getting more sunshine over the weekend. So by the end of tonight, it'll be warming back up. Should get up to the upper 70s by Sunday. And then looks like it'll be possible rain over the next week into Monday and Tuesday. How's it looking over there for you guys?
Rain, rainy, rainy, rain.
It is. It was extremely humid today.
Very.
It was in the 80s. Thick air, moisture, held up real good. Finally, it's supposed to rain within the next hour or so, depending on your area. Some areas already are, such as the Thunderbase studio itself is being thunder and storms, but that might be just because he's playing his music and bringing that cost to everything.
It's because he lives there.
All right.
On the West Coast, it's going to be a lot cooler than it is around here. It's going to drop down into the late 60s, and it's not going to supposedly start raining until around Sunday. 50% chance on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's because they've already experienced the rain and everything.
Also, they get the blow from the lakes too. The West Coast on the West Coast, they get all that wind.
Yes. When you're near the water, that happens.
I wish that some of that wind would come in when I'm living, because I'm living next to a lake. Wish that wind come into my place. Cools down my apartment without an air conditioner.
Get a fan.
But lakes are also a great place to spend with your significant other.
Hello. All right, you guys want to talk about birthdays? Get that all set up. We're going to do that in a minute, though. Well, first, we're going to talk about relationships. When it comes to relationships, guys, girls, and squirrels, yes, even the squirrels, because we're all not. I want to talk about the understanding of one another. You ever have an issue or problem? Sit down and talk with your significant other. If you have ideas or weird dreams or anything else, you discuss it. Also, just wording is key. Know how to word things accordingly so you don't act a fool or sound bad. Be mindful of what hateful things you say if you get angry or upset with somebody, especially your significant other. Some people remember things. Some people just shrug it off and forget about it. All really depends on who you guys are. But you should always have communication on the mind. And remember that when you're always sitting things down and you're placing things on the table, explaining, this is what I bring to the table, what do you bring to the table? It's a two-sided argument, not just a one. Always remember that. And what would you guys like to discuss about anything for relationships?
Communication is very important in a relationship because if you don't talk to your significant other, not just about the mundane stuff like, "Oh, babe, what do you want to get for dinner tonight?" or what do you want to go to get at the grocery store? What do you want to watch on TV? I'm talking about like hardcore questions, like not just about sex, but also about like what do you want to have kids? How do you want to do finances? Communicating with your partner is one of the most important things in a relationship. My parents, for example, yeah, they had their arguments. They did it the right way. They didn't do it in front of us, but they had their arguments, but they talked about it and they worked it out. And it's how they were managed to stay together all the way up to my mom's death. So, and it's communication is one of the most important things you can do in a relationship because it's one of the biggest cornerstones of the structure of the foundation because if you don't have communication, bad things happen. Like the person gets bored with you, they go cheat on you. Now, nobody likes getting cheated on.
Oh no, I agree. When it comes to relationships, it all comes down to the concept of when you're sitting together having a talk. It could also be not just that, it could be marital, it could be about your will, it could be what happens when you die or how you want to be buried. You could always put that in your will, but at the same time, it's always good to communicate with your significant other. Make sure they know your wishes, just in case someone tries to go past that. It's when you're in a relationship with each other, it's a survival. It's not just, oh, I think you're cute, let's date, or oh, I think you have great money, let's talk. No, it's about survival and companionship. Can I be around this person for a elongation of time? Can I can I survive knowing that we communicate accordingly to get things done right? What if something happens? Do we have a backup plan? Have we discussed that? Is there a rainy day savings just in case something happens? Car breaks down, or you have bad issues, or something along the lines of losing jobs or whatnot. There's many people have had all these different things happen, or a car crash or whatnot. So be mindful, communicate with each other. A main thing a lot of people actually break up with or fall apart on is finances. Communicating about that is a very difficult thing sometimes because some people want to afford and do certain things. And I know how that goes. I've discussed many things when it comes to that when it comes to my own road trips. I know who's better at finances, and I'm good with math, but I always hand the money always to the wife to make sure she takes care of all the bills while I work and make the money.
Makes the moonies.
Mhm. And work together on that. And then whatever's left, I have my own little allowance for myself. That's just for me, and all the rest is for the house, which is 90 to 95%, and then I get my little 5 or 10%. And it's for me, it's worth it because I get to see the family smile, happy, everything going good, and the kids growing.
And you blow it all on toys and all that.
I love to buy them toys, and then also I just occasionally give myself a figure, like figure D&D model, something like that. I don't really need to anymore. I think I have enough.
There's never enough figurines.
No, there's not, but that's the problem. And I'm running out of room.
Make a bigger room.
Also, make sure to pay attention to signs when you are first meeting somebody as to what kind of person they are. Are they interested in you or just your money?
Exactly. If they're interested in the latter, you don't want to be talking to them. That's called a red flag. Be mindful of that. If you meet someone called a gold digger in any kind of formality, someone that's just looking out for your finances, money, or expecting the first date to be 5-star restaurant or anything, no. How about no and probably not and no. You're better off getting to know each other first, have a nice talk, and then especially when they try to pull the excuse, oh, I want to do something in public. Cool, we can walk around in public, we can go to get coffee in public, we can go get ice cream. I'm down with the ice cream. You didn't earn money like in that kind of manner. I'm not going to just blow a bunch of money right off rip. It's like it's better to be with somebody that's conservative about that and smart about that. And I'm going to hold off the money in the right way and spend what it is for accordingly. A luxury of blowing money is not always a smart idea. People that blow their money quickly broke pretty quickly. So yeah, don't do that. It's very bad for you. Be mindful of anybody that's expecting or asking for money nonstop while they're with you as well. It's just not good. Now, see, when it comes to communicating about like a nuclear family, like relationship, like what I got with my wife, there's an understanding of knowing who's going to pay the bills, who's putting everything into everything, and knowing we're not going to blow or spend the money on anything useless or dumb. And that's what the communication part is all about. You communicate accordingly, you have less issues. Same thing goes for friendships, relationships, and warfare. You can communicate with anybody of any kind of country or anything else, and guess what? You don't have problems, but you never have that dialogue. Yeah, everybody's the enemy. So back to you, Thunder Bay Studios. All right, safety tips, guys, girls and squirrels. So the safety tips for today is going to be about ethic of hygiene and understandings. Some people have different smells around whatnot. Some people wear deodorants and some don't last long. Same thing goes for musks or sprays. Best just to probably carry one on you. I can tell you stories of myself of having it happen, being approached more than once in my life because I sweat a lot. So there's a lot of people like that have open pores and sweat more than others, and some people that don't. Depends on your hormones in your body as well, and depends on your health. Also, depending on if you have any kind of foot issues too. But for that safety note, there's also other things you have to be mindful of. Sharp objects. For today, please be mindful when you're utilizing something of a sharp object or danger. You don't want to accidentally nick, or cut yourself, especially where there's a vein. You're really going to be bleeding. You don't want that, and you got to go get stitches at times. There's be mindful of where and what. Always look and keep your fingers out of the way, knowing which direction the blade is going. Usually there's a safety format depending on what kind of knife you're using. If it's for at-home purposes and or for work or for hobbies. I utilize numerous types of blades for hobbies, especially when you're using figurines. Sharp little knives, you have to go in a teeny little incision point on a figurine. One oops, and you break the figurine, and one other oops, you cut your hand open. It'll be very touchy. So, you guys have any safety tips you want to bring up besides that? I brought up hygiene and knives and sharp objects.
Back to hygiene. Basic hygiene is very important for many reasons, not just because it doesn't make you stink. Because, as my mom always said, people don't like you when you smell. Lots of bad things happen when you don't wash and clean yourself properly, particularly with guys who still have a foreskin. If you don't clean that thing out right, it can get really nasty in there. If you don't change your socks and take your boots off at least for a couple of hours a day, you can end up with trench foot or rot foot, which is not fun.
I'm speaking from experience.
There's also a thing called crotch rot. If you don't change your undies every day, you can end up getting some really bad stuff down there, and it's not fun.
Yeah, you don't want to grow any kind of funguses on your buddies down there.
It hurts.
Very gross.
It requires some. It can require some very painful surgeries, and nobody wants to get surgeries down there. Not unless they have to. At least the sane people don't. Anyway.
Oh.
I'm done.
So, Thunderbase, do you have any questions about safety?
Not off the top of my head. I'm not good at coming up with things on the fly.
I have one for you. Your electric sockets, people. Check your plugs.
Oh,
Always double check those. Make sure every couple of months or so, or every couple of days or weeks. I check mine frequently. I'm paranoid and I have kids. So there's also the plug covers. Those are very smart, especially when you do have them. You don't want to zap the kid. Yet remember those cartoons back in the day where they stick a metal thing in and they go. Yeah, kind of does happen. I've learned my lesson when I used to do electric work occasionally, and someone didn't turn something off and didn't tell me, and I found a live wire. Oh boy, howdy!
I got electrocuted trying to change a light bulb as a kid.
You stuck your finger in the light socket, didn't you?
No, I went to go remove the light bulb, and as I'm removing it, it burst, and the electric current, I didn't realize that I hadn't turned off the light. So the light itself wasn't on. The bulb had already burned out. So I'm going to remove it, not realizing that I hadn't already turned off the light. As I'm removing it, bulb burst. Now my entire right hand is blackened because I didn't turn off the electricity.
Yowzer! That sounds very painful.
It was.
Yeah.
It was extremely painful.
I got zapped doing construction, and a guy hit me with a 2x4 to get it off. It was like a cartoon. It was like the Three Stooges. It worked too. As I was getting there, with the screwdriver working, and the guy's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Ah!" He grabs the 2x4, looks at me. I'm sorry. Whack. Hits me right away from it, and I'm just sitting there going like, "Oh, I wasn't ready."
Now, I know some people that might have some really good stories of safety mishaps they've happened. And that is the people that we will be celebrating this week's celebrity birthdays.
I was just jamming. I'm sorry. Every time that song comes on, I jam.
It was the 29th, I believe. We ended at. No, it was the 28th, and we're starting on
28th. So now we're on the 29th, going to the 4th. All right, we're going to start off with President, rest in peace, yourself, a U.S. President of John F. Kennedy in 1917 to 1963.
One with the conspiracy theory, the one that everybody assumes that somebody assassinated from the grassy knoll, or the guy the guy from the factory. Nobody knows. Nobody will ever know.
Oh, they know, and it was I believe it was our own people, and I believe it was also probably our own mafia as well, because so many tie-ins and deals and connections. One was the mafia, the other side was our own government, because he wasn't listening.
And one
Gee
side
golly.
was the Russians.
Sounds like something else that happened with a few others in the past. But back to it.
How about another American hero, Patrick Henry, who served in the Revolutionary War? He's very dead.
Very.
Yeah.
Died at the ripe old age of 63.
I'd love to get past 63. So, next on the list is Carmelo Anthony, 41, basketball player.
I'm surprised you didn't get this one. Nia Jax, 41, a wrestler.
I just got to her.
Ha! I beat you to it.
Yes, you did. You're a couple ahead of me. All right. I got Paul Snakes, 23, basketball player. I found a lot of basketball players today. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. We're going to do one more.
Olivia Crocs, 53. She was the trans actress who played in Orange is the New Black.
Oh, that character.
Still have yet to see that show.
It was okay. It had its moments. The one twist I did like that I called out right at the very beginning was the one girl that was playing the special needs. I was like, that person's not special needs, they're playing as it. They're faking it. They're like, no, they're doing it as an actor. That's the point. I'm like, no, they're acting as they are. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, they're playing as a character that is normal, and then sure as hell came out as such, as the person's perfectly fine playing as their special needs and crazy the whole damn time, but they're smart. Like, you know how to play the system. It looks like a lot of the other people in the world that are doing that. Don't play the system, people, because the system will play you.
One more. Bob Hope died in 2003. He was a comedian who did all those shows for the troops during World War II. World War II? The USO shows from 1942 to 1991. So he did a lot of those.
Okay.
I got one right here called Jane Seymour, 1508 to 1537. The Queen. Queen of what?
Huh?
Queen of England.
Awesome.
Oh.
Henry VIII's wife, who left him a male heir. His third wife.
Oh,
her own life,
the
though.
only one that died, and the one that everyone believes is the only one he loved.
Yep, it was.
Married Queen of
That's dark. That's very dark.
I forget how many wives did he have? It's like 5 or 7.
He only died because of childbirth. That's the only reason.
Yeah, well, he got taken out by Queen Elizabeth at the end, I think. I can't remember.
Also, there actually is a musical about the
6.
6.
Yep.
Okay, let's do one more on this for the 30th.
Oh, 30th. I'm behind.
Yeah, we're on May 30th now. Wynonna Judd, 61, country singer.
Oh.
And here's one. Mark Shepard, 61, TV actor.
That's not me.
He was in. No, there's a dog barking at another dog right now behind me, about 25 feet. You shush, you hooker.
Oh, actually, I got one more. Mark Steppard, Shepherd, or whatever.
That's what I just said.
Oh, well.
Now you know how it feels. We'll do now the 31st, but you can go for explaining anything about him, because I only know him in what was it? Supernatural.
He was also
in my friend Katie and me used to watch it.
He was also in Warehouse 13 as a minor role in Warehouse 13. He did mostly minor roles.
Well, that's how you get in there sometimes when you want to play. Some people get up that way.
I got this one. Clint Eastwood. Ha!
He was for is that the 31st or your 30th?
The 31st.
Okay, you got me right off rip. 31st. Okay, Clint Eastwood. You want to say anything about it before we go to the next person?
He squints better than you.
He does. He's always got something in his eye. I can.
Do you feel lucky, punk?
I got a lot of facial expressions. Mr. Bean is one of my favorite actors.
Oh, Genghis Khan.
Wait, what? Oh my God.
Oh, geez.
Well, at least he technically lives. Yeah, he lives forever.
Well, then, happy Father's Day to all Chinese.
To all the Khans, and that's like 3/4 of China.
Well,
and then
is everywhere from New York to Japan.
That's dark. All right, Brooke Shields, 60, movie actress.
Colin Farrell, the movie actor who played in a lot of stuff. He plays the Penguin, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, that blew my mind. That was him in the new Batman. That he was the Penguin. He did a great job. He looked like the Penguin.
He did such a good job. He's actually trying to make a spin-off series for him.
I like it because he's a good actor. I liked him in a lot of things. So back to it, guys, girls and squirrels. We're gonna go with oh my God, here we go. Montez Ford, 35, pro wrestler.
Wrestler.
Member of the
Thunder
Street
Base know about him. Yep. We'll do one more. Yep.
Yeah.
You got one more? I got one right here. Chris Elliott, 65.
That's what I was gonna do.
Ah.
He was in How I Met Your Mother as the father. He was in Groundhog's Day.
He is also in the what do you call it? Scary Movies.
Yeah, as the guy with the little hand.
Take my strong hand. My germs.
Like, no.
Yeah, he did the My Germs, and everybody was like, "Nope, nope, done, done." Your other
The
hand is
serving of the
fine.
mashed potatoes.
Just not the little hand. The big hand, fine. Little hand, nope. All right, now we're on June. Wow, I jumped right to June. No, I don't want to go June 5th.
Morgan Freeman.
Is there no one on June 1st?
Oh, cop it. You
Yeah,
are so
June
lovely.
1st.
You keep
Morgan
my feet
Freeman,
warm during the cold winter's nights.
Here's one. A lady well known for many years, Marilyn Monroe.
The iconic sex symbol.
The one of the OGs. Not the, but one of the.
She
1962.
was also married. Oh yeah, she was married to the baseball player.
Yeah, 1962 to 1926 to 1962. Wow. All it is just a number switched and then she died. That's dark.
Tom Holland.
She was assassinated.
The new Spider-Man.
Yeah, I enjoyed him as a Spider-Man also because he actually still looks young. Like he has that genetic trope about him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also still, I think he's like 25 now.
He is 29.
Oh, wow. I gotta check this. Oh, he is. Holy crap balls. Wow, I am old, but he is. Wow, I thought he just looks so young.
Jeez, so he's only 2 years younger than I am. So he's only 2 years younger than I am.
I wonder if he can grow facial hair. I'm sorry.
How about this? Andy Griffin.
Oh.
He died. Actually, he died pretty recently. He died in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
Brian
hardcore.
I used to watch the Andy Griffith Show with my grandmother.
We have Amy Schumer, 44, comedian. I watched some of her stuff. Some of it was funny. Some of it was my vagina.
To watch her.
Yeah, I like the other girls that were comedians. But they were more tomboyish. But that's because they're brown guys. They got it. They knew it. They didn't care. The one girl has I think it was she did her first stand up. She was like, "I have 7 brothers, so here's your thing, yourselves." And everybody was just like, she just told everybody off right off rip. Like, yeah, go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit. He just walks away. All right, let's go with why'd I did? Wow, I just had.
I got one.
Javier Hernandez, 37, soccer player.
I got one.
Go ahead.
Brian.
Soccer or football?
Football.
I got one. Brian Cox.
Ha!
I feel really bad for him growing up with the last name like that.
I knew it was we have a guy that's known as Mayo for his last name.
He was also I think he was also in Troy. I think he played Agamemnon.
Here's one. The last one for June 1st. Andy Griffin, 1962.
We already did that one.
Oh, we did? Well, what the hell? I ruined it. We both did that today. That makes it even funnier. Okay, we need to find one more. Here we go. Jonathan Pryce. 78, movie actor. Wow, he's 78.
Wow.
I did it again. Why is it?
We need
Oh.
What?
Oh, we're moving on to June 6th, June 2nd?
June 2nd, yep.
Yep, June 2nd.
Wayne Brady.
Oh.
58 years old. And my favorite thing with him in it was when he did that one skit with Dave Chappelle and then Chappelle show. Oh, shit, it's Wayne Brady. My favorite line in that entire one is like, is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
I love that. He's been waiting all week for that. I love it though because that is hilarious.
But his main known to fame is he's a part of the foursome and Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yep.
I love that show. I've been inspired to want to do something like that. Plus all our other stand up for like
I love it because it's
like
straight
Kevin
up
and Keller
improv.
and yeah.
Straight up
That's
improv,
once
and
we
I
get
love
the
it.
studio stuff ready proper because we have our little studios. So little studios aren't enough. We need big. We need something
need
at
more.
least enough. At least enough. But we'll get there one day. If you like, share, and subscribe, people, remember that on Chaotic Minds. Next one, we're going to go here. Beetlejuice, 57, comedian. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but he's funny as hell.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie guy.
No, an actual actor named Beetlejuice, or an actual comedian. His real name is Napoleon Green, but better known as Beetlejuice.
Where is
Frankly, only known on Howard Stern.
he? Said it 3 times. Where is he?
Or how about Zachary Kutoon? I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your last name, dude. He was in Heroes. He was the villain in Heroes, and he was Spock in the reboot.
Nice. I'll get one. Dana Chevy, 70, movie actor. Yeah, you sent Wade Brady already. I was getting all excited.
Dennis Haysbert. He's that guy with that really deep voice who's like, now. He's in I believe he was in briefly in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yes, the FBI agent.
Nice. Okay, we got a last one for this one before we go to the next is Liam Cunningham, 64, TV actor. He's in movies too. A bunch of stuff.
I think I remember him in Game of Thrones. He was the captain with the 6-fingered hand or something.
Was it 6-fingered hand? Because that's Princess Bride as well. Princess Bride is guy, but that's a different guy.
He cut off the tips of his fingers.
He was missing fingers. Parts of his fingers. All right, we're on June 3rd now. We're gonna go with my God, some holy squirrels. No, we're not gonna go with that guy. Here's one. Little RT, 11, a child rapper.
Oh, how about Blast from the Past? Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederate States of America. He's basically the head of the Confederacy.
Pros and cons. Mostly cons, but he has some good things. No, we're not going to do that one. You can go fuck yourself, lady.
No.
Sorry, I had to. We're going to go Dave East, 37, rapper. I've seen Biden's wife on here. I was like, no, we're not going to celebrate you. You go smurf yourself. Not after what you did to him. And man, that's elder abuse. I don't care what anybody says. Watch me fucking get hit now. Seriously, I am sound of mind, people. I will not kill myself. I will not do anything of just. Just remember that. Mysteriously, if something happens. All right, go on.
No, I'm on the last one. And I already got my first one.
Well, we're still on June 3rd, or are you going to shift over to June 4th?
I'm on June 4th. If you have any more on June 3rd.
No, we'll go right to June 4th.
Okay, Angelina Jolie.
Oh, you son of a hooker!
She's 50.
David
does not look 50.
No, she took care of herself right to a certain extent, but there was a point in time where she was anorexic, but that's what messed her up. She should not have went anorexic because that damaged her health severely.
My favorite.
I have to say though, she did a really good job as
Tomb Raider.
Magnificent.
Yeah, but also in
I loved her in Tomb Raider. My first movie seeing her in was Hackers. Also, that's when I first got to see her boobs.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith was a good movie. But my first movie ever seeing her in was Hackers.
Also for June 4th,
which was her first one.
Actor that played Spawn, Keith David.
Just see him right there. Nice. Yeah, he is. Love that dude. And man, they said they're going to be doing some more Spawn stuff, and he is one of the most powerful comic book characters. Period. Like, there's only a couple that get up there with him. He's one of those.
Oh right,
Yeah.
he usually does voice acting. You're right.
And we got Noah Weil, 54, TV actor.
Or about this one? Let's show some royalty. King George III.
Oh snap!
The king of Great Britain and the Ireland.
With 6 wives himself.
who thought to defeat the French in the 7-Year War, but then actually he lost it. But that's again not going to get into that.
All right, got one last one. Rob Hubel, 56, a comedian.
Actually,
it's your birthday. Go ahead. You said you got one more.
I was going to do Noah Wayne, but I think he's plays the Librarian series as of late.
I got one for DJ Thunderbase. Kim Soo-Hoyan, 26, TV actress, mostly known for dramas.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my turn.
Okay.
All right. Back to you, Thunderbase Studios.
All right, and we wish all those celebrities a happy birthday.
Hello, my true believers. Good evening, my true believers.
I believe.
Tonight, I think we'll keep with the Michigan theme, and we'll talk about the Ada Witch. The Ada Witch, the story takes place at a small town called Ada outside of Grand Rapids, if you know your geography of Michigan. And apparently, she was a ghost. Apparently, this is how the story goes, is that she was a very unfaithful woman, and her husband found out about it. And every time he went to sleep, she would go off to go be with her lover. Well, her husband eventually figured it out. Took him long enough. He pretended to fall asleep and followed her. And he found her lover in the woods. They were doing the canoodling.
Go wow, giggity.
And he killed her, and the lover and him got into a massive fight so bad it wrecked the entire area, and they killed each other. And ever since then, there's been this mysterious white lady wandering around in the woods and the cemeteries. Some people take pictures and there's white dots on the photos. They're driving it on the road, or you are hunting in the woods in certain. I forget which road it was, and you feel like someone's following you. Ooh. And that's about it. There's not really much. What else was there?
Hey, talk about that. Where the concept of her came from is not just there in Michigan, but also all around the country. Is that there's known for a lot of different female spirits that have had a tragic death, and in doing so, it led their bodies bound to want to torture for their last moments of who did it to them. So sadly, it's innocent oncoming guys half the time. Some of them get away, some don't. The spirit shows up in your car, and you either crash, or they attack you or such, or suffocate you and make you have a heart attack. There's a bunch of different things. Mostly it's a fear, but for those who have high immense fear issues or not, for me, I get excited. So it would just be a big smile and excitement, and they'd be so confused.
Okay, back to you, DJ Thunderbase.
God, is that you?
I don't have the video set up quite yet, so you could just go right into the next segment.
Warhammer! War!
So tonight, for our fellow Warhammer enthusiasts, we are going to be continuing our journey down the order of Primarchs, since that's a very popular topic. We're going to be talking about the fourth, known as the Lord of Iron, Puturabo, the backbone of the rebel of the Horus Heresy. Now, Puturabo in his early days was found on the planet called Olympia, like many of the planets from that happened after Old Night. It had its technologies. It was colonized early on in the settlements during the golden age of humanity. But when Old Night happened, it got cut off like every other colony. And that colony, they had their technologies for a while, but slowly it devolved down to a rudimentary city-states. And like all city-states, they have different beliefs, and then conflict happens. Enters Puturabo, the Primarch of the 4th Legion. He ends up on this planet after he comes out of his pod. Unlike his brothers who were somewhat dazed or whatnot, he come out with a very sharp mind. His mind was sharp as a razor, and when he first come out, he found himself.
Do you think it was his ship or whatever it was landed and it stayed sealed long enough for him to gain consciousness and then just think about things for a minute?
No, he came out like because you have to understand, Puturabo was a genius. This man was a completely everybody underestimated because they all thought he was a thug. No, this man was one of the top tier smartest of all of the Primarchs.
So the main strategist.
Yeah, like his only main rival was Rugal Dawn, which we will talk about in another segment. But he was used. He was used by the royalty of Olympia. He was used by the Emperor, and he was used by Horus. And towards the end of the Horus Heresy, and he did many things. His humanity was barely holding on because the one thing that he did not have, nobody appreciated him for him. He didn't have anybody who loved him throughout his entire life. And he came up with the motto, iron within, iron without. One of the things that all the Primarchs during the Horus Heresy, all the Primarchs were changed in one way, shape, or form. And Puturabo was no exception. What it did is it made him colder. And he was already a very cold and distant man.
Who do you think was the least touched out of them?
Oh, gods. Probably Guilliman. But that's just my opinion.
Okay, well, that's another story.
That's another story. Puturabo was the siege breaker. Him and his legion into the most difficult, hardest to break warfare throughout the entirety of the Great Crusade. And he did it himself, and and it just decimated him to the point in which his own planet rebelled, and he went back, destroyed the entire planet, killed everybody, and decimated the royalty, and even killed his own family. And after that, he was found out that in his grief of doing that is when Horus took him, and that's how he became. And now he is now a demon Primarch who sold his soul for immortality, and now makes the demons come to him if they want his favor. And I think that's enough for tonight. Thank you. Please subscribe to the channel, comment and subscribe if you want any more anything specific you want us to talk about. Back to you, DJ Thunderbase. Fireball!
Oh, son of a. So, gaming. Man, I want to talk about the classics today. I'm
Sure.
going to bring up, unless you have something.
All I was going to do is do a review on Southern of Midnight, but if you got something you want to do, let's do that.
We can do both. We'll do an old school, and we'll go into a new school. So I want to talk about, what was your favorite first actual video game system? Like your actual console. My actual first to play was Nintendo, but I did play Atari and everything else over time, but my very first was Nintendo. My very first game was Legends of Zelda, the original gold cartridge. I still have it to this day. All the special stuff and everything with it. And I beat it at like 3 years old with my parents. They watched me, they helped guide me. Because originally I watched them play, and they had their save, and I just mimicked some of their stuff, but I did all the right things and didn't waste time, just got everything correct and went right to the boss and figured out how to kill him with the proper bomb right off rip. And they're looking at me going, how did you sitting there going, I watched you, I observed, monkey see, monkey do. But for me, it was that. What about you guys? My next game was like Super Mario Brothers and then Sonic.
Oh God, so I played so many consoles. My first console, like the first one I owned, was the PS1, because we did have an NES, but that one kind of disappeared for a while, and it just ended up in my attic and we just forgot about it. The first console I ever owned myself, that I was the only one playing it, was the PlayStation 1, the original, the big gray one. And it was fun. Like my first game I played on it was Spyro. And that was fun. Never finished it, but that was fun.
For me, for the next gen's up, go like a Super Nintendo. I love SimCity. We were talking about it earlier this week, you and me. SimCity, what I used to do is I had this little white fan, which I still have over here. It's about the yay round. And it was originally my dad's. And he used to put it on his old console systems to keep him cool so he could play them for hours. Because back then they didn't have ventilations properly or fans. So I learned this trick, turned the fan on high, plugged it in, kept the game running, and then turned the TV off and go to school. I come back from school and went from having a couple thousand, a little town, to being like a millionaire in the game going, okay, everybody's pissed off at me, but I've got money. I fix everything, make everybody happy, save it real good, and start accumulating. I played that game nonstop for years until the point where my Super Nintendo, like no joke, overheated and started smoking. Even with the fan on and everything, it just didn't turn it off for a long time. I'd say months, maybe a year. And then it just fried. The fan kept it cool for a while, but there was a point where it got too hot, even with me living in the basement. It was during the summertime, though, obviously, so it made more sense. What about you? What was your next gen up after your first?
It was the 360, and oh God, there were so many good ones.
Dude, the Castlevania one, where you get to evolve your little creature and fight with different weapons. I love that one. Halo.
No, the next one was PS2, and my favorite one was Champions of Norath. The top down. It was a top-down RPG where you got to pick between like the traditional fantasy RPG, barbarian, elf.
Yeah,
You know,
like a D&D kind of.
Yeah, and and it was traditional, but it's just the story was just so fun. It just running through, going killing animals, and it's just like I think I beat the second one first.
Mine was a for Xbox. It was Phantom Crash. It was a Japanese game. You get to pilot a mech that you get to customize to a certain extent, and in it you got a calendar to go through and a little CPU AI chip that you create, and you have an animal CPI connected to it where it learns. So I always chose the wolf, obviously, and then I'd upgrade it and everything else, and hook it to my machine, and it would tell me if there's other people around. And I always had this kind of like a heavy arm style mech, and ran around super fast, putting a lot of power into my legs and into my arms, and had two miniguns. One really heavy minigun that would shoot only maybe 200 rounds, but each round was devastating. And I would just trigger point it and just pop, 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 like little taps. But my other one was a very light minigun that had like 2,000 rounds. So I just kept going, daka, daka. But do you want to talk about yours real quickly before we end the gaming segment?
Not really much else I can talk about.
Oh, your one segment thing you wanted to talk about for the gaming, your review of the game.
Oh,
that you were
I haven't beaten it yet, but South of Midnight I'm enjoying it. I love the art style. I love the story, but I can see why people didn't really like it because you can definitely see like little bitty glitches in the facial expressions and the talking and all that. But it's all in all, I think it's a pretty solid game.
I think it's going to be nostalgic for that because you can make memes of it over time, and people are going to start playing the game and purposely making funny memes of it deliberately. You're going to get the edgelords later, and they're going to make it popular. But I think that'll be it for gaming for now. Thunderbase Studios, back to you.
Debate. Politics.
All right. So, something I want to talk about. I know the great Nux Taku himself talks about it, and he's like, at the 500%, he's going to be at the 1,000% one day, and we're going to see him in jail. Hassan Piker and his spoiled richness, trying to talk down and disrespect people and hating on Jews and saying anti-Semitic things and saying how everybody in Israel and everybody that's a Jew that just deserves to die, period. And then he paraded and capitalized the people getting firebombed by a random guy saying praise Palestine and burning them alive. Like they're still alive, but barely. A bunch of 80-year-olds and some kids. Wrong, messed up, bad. You shouldn't be hurting other people. That's not how you protest.
No, when violence gets put into it, that means the protest is ended. That means you defeat the purpose of your message.
At that point, it goes from being a protest to a riot.
Yeah, you don't bring a protest or a riot, but the protest in general, you do not start a riot at. You do not start something. You know it's supposed to be a peaceful protest. It's supposed to be, hey, this is my side representing in a nice, kind way. Please don't harm these people. They're just living their lives, and this is just their thoughts. They're not going to harm anybody. And they were a bunch of old, innocent people mostly. With their grandchildren, some of them, and sadly they got harmed too. It's not right. Same thing for overseas. For like, if you're protesting over the war, but you're actually from Egypt, because the guy was from Egypt, why don't you go back to where you were at the time, where you're supposed to, because you had an expired visa, first off, and actually do it there, because you would have protested properly. Because that's the problem with it, is that there is no left or right anymore with that. Like, that's the problem with it when it comes to our country, people fighting over this, so left and right. It shouldn't be about that. It should be a mix. The concept of not red, not blue, and purple. Purple People Party for that. We need to put that together with that. We need to protect each other and unite and be united as the free and the brave, with the bald eagle going, I don't care, let's fight. We'll hold off and stand our ground and protect our country, and then the people that we protect and aid. At the same time, though, there's a lot of propaganda and lies going around because I was looking at the stuff with Hamas, and sadly, them lying, trying to say that Israel attacked a bunch of innocents while they were dropping aid. No, they even had video proof and showed it everything that it was Hamas attack, and then purposely turning it around, killing their own people, shooting their own innocent people, just so they can propagandize to make a war look worse, like for the other side, instead of just having a discussion. Because every time they have a peace talk, they're the ones that say no matter what the peace talk is, and that's the problem. It bugs the hell out of me. I don't like either side doing the killing. Neither should be. But Hamas is using guerrilla warfare and hiding behind buildings and hiding behind innocent people and using them as human shields. And it's quite frankly disgusting and wrong.
It's cowardly.
It is. It's 100% cowardly. That's not soldierly.
Extremely.
It's disgusting. And then for our country, I would stand tall and strong and tell the country that we would not allow this. We would hold back and be like, all right, guys, we need to talk and discuss this. It's either we sit down and have peace with the proper kind of power, or we're just going to shut you down. You don't be killing innocent people that didn't deserve this kind of warfare or pain. The Purple People Party, of the people, by the people, for the people, is a thing for a reason. We may be small and starting off, but in all actuality, there's more people in the middle that are purple than there would be on the left or right that are red or blue. And over time, you need to understand the concept is we're here to protect one another. We can't allow someone to push like this, let alone the propagandizing and lying and trying to turn each other against each other. Americans shouldn't be trying to harm each other or hating each other because of differences. We should be standing tall and be like, hey, I see your point. I know you're mad. Maybe we'll show you some other points and see if they're correct or not. And if they're wrong, I'm sorry. And if you're right, hey, thank you for informing me that I'm wrong. But that's the concept. You don't get pissed, you don't get mad, you don't start a fight, you sit down and talk respectfully. Like, I've been on both sides my whole life, bouncing around, seeing one thing to another, and then realizing there's another whole ground. And there should be three, just like a Triforce. You have your courage, you have your wisdom, you have your power. Right now, you have power and you have like charisma, like fighting each other. We need like wisdom to fight back. People that are wise, the people are the ones going, hey, we're the ones suffering down here. You guys are the ones up there arguing and fighting, but we're the ones suffering. Bills are higher than ever. Cost of living is higher than it's ever been. Like, it's trying to be fixed right now, but the last presidency just messed things up. And then if they're trying to sign more bills to make it so we have to pay more, no, it's even worse. We need to be getting small government more, or like controlled more in each. Make it so the states still have their power and their control. The government has theirs. But there shouldn't be this constant drain of our own country, our own people, to the point where, like, we used to get up in arms over 2%. We're at almost like a 45 to 50%. That's like half our paycheck. I don't want to pay half my paycheck. Do you?
Mm-mm.
You work, half of that's going to the government, so half of it's going to them. The other half's going to your family, and then you have to go work another job. They got to do the same damn thing. You don't have time to raise your family. You don't have time to spend and be happy. You don't have time to do something and speak out. They don't want you to speak out, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
Well,
but all the layoffs that they're doing, that people are going to have nothing but time to bitch and whine.
So do we have any closing statements before we end this out?
Oh yes. You want to do it, Dark Trooper?
I did. You did it last time. Tune in on Friday, 9 p.m. sharp for the Rolling to Die podcast. Be there. What's our mission? I think it's part 5 of
Yep, this is part 5 of the Doom Saints.
The Doom Saints.
Yes.
That's what
Yep. Part 5 of the Doom Saints. We have finally got to the back section into the cave,
finally,
where the big boss is waiting above all of you.
to get lemons thrown in his face.
It's gonna be fun. All right.
Who knows? Maybe Edward will remain faithful to the group, or who knows, something might happen.
Dun dun dun.
You have to tune in to find out.
See you Friday.
Bye.
And also, don't forget to tune in next week. Same time, same place for the next episode of The Chaotic Minds. Once again, I'm Devontae Ewing, a.k.a. DJ Thunderbase, signing off and saying good night.